Hi, I'm Andy Chanley from 88.5, the SoCal Sound, and this is a SoCal Sound session with the Watkins Family Hour, joined today by Sarah and Sean. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Now, for people that are watching this, in just a few minutes, we're going to go downstairs and they're going to perform for some of the subscribers to the radio station. Can't wait for it. But I want to get some other things out of the way first. Some business right up front. New album, Volume 2, just out. And I know you had a party for it last night. We want to talk about that. And you've been hearing the song Hypnotized, the Tune Yards cover on 88.5 here lately. Let's start with Largo in general. It's been 20 years. You've been showing up at Largo now. And it's become, 20 years is an institution. And it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. It's just neat that you found a way to do what you love with people that you love. And it's like that old adage, find what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It seems like that's what you've dialed in.
Like Sean was saying the other day, like, we feel so lucky that Largo has been around for that long. Like, there aren't a lot of places, there are longstanding residencies in like every major city and probably small town, but it's hard to find a place that is able to stay open and has the strength and like the dedicated audience that Largo does. And so we feel, very lucky to have an opportunity to do something for so long. And the fact that it's Largo with a place that's with so much culture and such a great community of like comedians and musicians around that place. We were so lucky just to be invited into the fold when we were.
Flanagan has curated this amazing scene, a musical, like Sarah was saying, musical comedy community, and we have to give him credit for that because he's just been so supportive over the years, and has been the exact same since the time we started. Like, he's like, I want you to experiment, try new songs, bring new people in, guests. You can't fail. It's all going to be good, And that's cool. A very, very rare. He's a unicorn.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of course, it's way before my time, but the Palomino in North Hollywood. Hearing stories about John Fogerty and Bob Dylan and George Harrison just showing up and getting on stage and playing, and people didn't bother them. They didn't go up and hound them.
And the troubadour, for that matter. So much history of these places. And Largo doesn't have that history. It hasn't been around for more than like 30 years total, but the consistency of having Flanagan there, I think, makes, and whatever makes a scene at all of those places, there's definitely one there, and we're lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah. Last night you had the album release party for Volume 2 there. Quickly tell me what kind of fun that was.
It was such a blast.
Who got up on stage with you to play?
Our guests were...
They're mostly people who are on the album. Not the full list of people on the album, but whoever was around. And
Jackson Brown, Madison Cunningham, Willie Watson, and Glenn Phillips were our guests, and
David Garza.
Yeah, and we have a pool of musicians who we have in the band, and it's to that point now where there's like maybe 10 people. There's like 3 drummers that know the songs. There's like a couple bass players, and so depending on who's in town, who's off tour,
it's basically a bar gig.
Yeah,
we're basically a bar band, but the audience listens, so you can play with more dynamics, and the band, musicians on stage can listen to each other rather than just like a noisy bar where you have to just like play loud and keep going and hit the choruses every time. Like, it's a bar band, but it's quiet. So we have the freedom and the consistency of this, like, these common feels and these common material, like whether it be something that the guests happened to write or just something they wanted to try out.
Yeah.
Or
that's the thing we love about it. It's a mix of a formal setting and this beautiful old theater, the mixed with the freedom that we're given to just, like Sarah said, basically to have a pickup band and not a pickup band, but it's we prepare as much as we can, but there's a lot of stuff that happens on the fly, and that's just part of we're encouraged to do that, which is so nice. It's not like we have to show up with a very polished show every time.
It's pretty incredible, though, the cast of people that now, I mean, you call friend, but, anyone walking in on a given night will be like, that's so-and-so, and that's Jackson Browne. And that, I mean, it has to be, here's what I would do. I would advertise in airline magazines for tourists. Don't go to Disneyland. When you go to LA, go to Largo, and you're sure to see some incredible musicians face to face.
I know. When I meet people who live in LA and who've lived here for a while that haven't been to Largo, I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
It's a big city. There's lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, there is, but it's such a special, there's no place like it. It's amazing.
Let's talk about Volume 2 real quick. And some of the people that you just named are on there. Cameos from Jackson Browne and Gabby Moreno and Willie Watson of Old Crow Medicine Show you mentioned, Madison Cunningham. And I love the songs that you picked to do for this. Like Ernest Tubb, Thanks a Lot.
Yeah.
Old Classic with John Bryan. The Patti Page Classic, Tennessee Waltz with Benmont Tench playing piano. Another Ernest Tubb, Remember Me, I'm the One Who Loves You, or Dean Martin, depending on how old you are, with Fiona Apple. A Zombie song with Lucius, The Way I Feel Inside. It's such a fun collection of old country and pop. Is it an anything goes? If anyone brings anything in, is it fair game? Or are there certain things that you're like,
Well, I mean, we're open to any idea, but I think from our point of view, what's fun is to pair up people with songs that might not be super up their alley, and the people that we have love to learn new styles and new songs, and like Fiona Apple singing on a country song is a wonderful thing.
But it's not like, I mean, she was singing country songs when we met her. Like, it's not like we're introducing these people to these things. Like, these people. The list of musicians we're not introducing anything new to them. This is just like an opportunity to mess around on something they might not do in their day job.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be, because we didn't really talk about the band people who were there. Like, I mentioned that it's a bar band, and I failed to mention that it's just like the world's greatest musicians.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to diminish.
It's a bar band.
I caught the irony.
It's a bar band.
Jackson Browne's in your bar band.
It's a bar band in that we throw it together based on who's around. But that's the only thing. The musicianship is just incredible, and we feel so grateful for those people.
And that's it. I think people show up and people gravitate towards you because they know that it's all going to be about songcraft and not about ego. And it's just going to be coming together to do these songs that, maybe old country songs, but they're really folk songs at heart and very simple songs to perform, but difficult songs to perform well.
Yeah, I think that's something that we saw happening immediately when we started going to Largo and seeing shows and seeing, like, John Bryan was doing his Friday night thing there. And it was an incredibly rangy bunch of guests that he would have up any given night. And he was spectacular, still is, at, like, finding the material, where, like, in the Venn diagram of musicianship, like, where's the overlap? What's the common ground?
Yeah, with 5 people on stage, he knows where their overlap is. And
which is why the first night that I think we were on stage with Fiona, we hadn't met her, and John suggested Walking After Midnight, which is like it was incredible, and it was completely eye-opening. I'd never seen a performance of that song like she delivered, and when you change the context of the song, Sean was talking about this yesterday, that, like, Tennessee Waltz at a bluegrass festival is not going to be played because it's just a cliche. Mm-hmm. But
it's a beautiful song.
If you change the context a little bit, you can remember what a beautiful song it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like
you see it through a new lens.
Yeah, I mean, the context being we're playing with Benmont Tench of Tom Petty the Heartbreakers at a club in Hollywood with people who aren't necessarily tired of this song at all, or maybe some of them haven't heard it.
They might be hearing it for the first time.
It's because we're in this city that's so un-bluegrassy that we're able to sort of, capitalize on that a little bit, and it's really fun to play these songs that are so beautiful like Sarah said, that people would clap and they'd be like, okay, great, that's pretty.
And also we play them
but-
differently here than
Totally.
we would anywhere else because the room changes the songs.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on tour, that happens too. Like, depending on what kind of room you're playing, a song can take on a whole different life if you let it.
Yeah, I mean, and also if a song is new for an audience, then it becomes new for us too.
Yeah,
Right.
because you're seeing it through their eyes.
you're-
Well, and, like,
And
when
you
you're
sing it differently because of that.
right. Well, when you're playing guitar, for example, and it's just the two of you, you're probably going to play more notes than if someone else is joining you on guitar, and you can split the parts up a little bit. Is that not true? Or?
I don't know. I mean, you definitely have. With playing as a duo, you have to. You're playing more of a. Obviously, two people have bigger roles. If you're playing in a band with four people, the guitar sort of fades off, and you kind of are more of a supportive role. But once the two of us, we're pretty active, and when we arrange songs to play as a duo, we think of it differently than as a band.
Right. All right, I want you guys to tell the future here a little bit. We're looking at December 3rd for the Christmas show at the Soraya, just next to 88.5's studios at Cal State Northridge. What can people expect? I know it's early. I know you probably have a lot of plans, and I know that the house band can change from time to time. But you've done celebrations like this before. What can we expect for the Christmas show at the Soraya?
It's always a fun show. Like we generally play a holiday show at Largo. We've never taken it on the road before by playing it elsewhere, but it's always special. And so, I mean, it's generally a somewhat of a curtain call from the year's guests, and we'll have been fresh off the road, so there'll be some. It'll like we'll know what we're doing. A
little bit, yeah. Hopefully not too much, but no, it's always there's a lot of people that are home for the holidays,
right.
and so it's kind of a fun get together for people that are going to see their family or.
And also, it can feel like a Christmas party for us.
It feels like a Christmas party, and usually it just ends up being a lot of people, and we end up usually with a multitude of options for songs and people to do things. So it's a ways off, but we're definitely looking forward to planning it and to do it in a new space.
It's a beautiful room.
It's a beautiful facility.
Really.
It really is. And I just looked online a little bit ago. Like tickets start at $36. So go buy a ticket for that, and everybody in your family, and go do that instead of the Nutcracker this year, maybe. Last time we talked, it was such a pitiful time because I'm talking to you guys. I'm cramped in my house remotely. You guys are cramped in your space together, and you can't get out and you can't play your music for people. Everything in the world is shut down. And I've talked to a lot of different musicians about this. It was a very difficult time to not be able to, to ply your trade. How does it feel now? Have you felt, a fresh breath of air, being able to go out and connect with people again? And have they proven themselves to be hungry for the entertainment?
Yeah, I mean, I personally still feel. I was wondering how long it would last, the feeling of playing after so long of not playing. I was wondering if I would start taking it for granted pretty quickly, but it hasn't worn off yet. It still feels. I still feel very gracious, and maybe more so. I've always felt gracious to do what we do, but
Gracious.
Grateful. I felt grateful. That's the right word.
And he's gracious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still feels great, and the audience definitely still feels appreciative. Maybe a little bit more so, but I don't know. We've always had great crowds.
One thing that's interesting, I think that maybe some people that come to you later might see your performances and think, wow, they're just like what my parents used to watch on PBS in the 1970s, the Austin City Limits and those things. Those guys are really nailed in that vibe, and they're doing it. But that's your life. You've been doing that since you were kids, haven't you? You've been playing folk festivals and being itinerant musicians like day after day throughout your entire lives, right?
Yeah, we grew up in Southern California, like just 2 hours south of here, in Vista, and would play local bluegrass festivals around the Southwest, greater Southwest. And Sean and I, our siblings, and our bandmate Chris Thiele, we grew up playing in Nickel Creek. And when Nickel Creek was touring super intensely, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, year round for like 2 years, that's when
2001.
That's when we started doing Family Hour in that 1 week off, and it was a break from our day job, and it was an opportunity to like just mess around on songs that we like to sing. And we noticed that in the pandemic, when we ended up doing a live stream like everyone else on Patreon, like everyone else, that it kind of came back to that the service that it had in our lives at the beginning, of just like this chance to play songs that we liked with a couple friends, and what a privilege that is. And it was really the only time that we would see these people, and our musician friends who we would often see very often, so it became this way to like reconnect with people, and in a way that we had totally taken for granted, and it was a real full circle kind of sentiment, I think. And that led into the 20th anniversary, when we were finally able to really come together with a bunch of these musicians who we've known for so long, and like celebrate the various eras of the Family Hour. Yeah. Like era is a big word for it, but over the 20 years we've done it's morphed. Like it started as like Sean and me and our friend Gabe Butcher playing fiddle, and then whoever's in town for like 3 or 4 months at a time will kind of get a thing going, and then it'll move and change and develop. And
and that's part of why I think what's led to the longevity of it is that it's always changing, and there are people move to town, people move out of town, and it's this evolving kind of feels like a living organism kind of that we get to just kind of go along on the ride with.
And it makes it so much more sweet when you get the reunions with those people, when they come back around and into the fold. So
and we were able to record in the Pet Sounds room at East West Studio.
Oh, wow.
3, and with a bunch of these musician friends for the first time in ages, and our friend Tyler Chester co-producing it with us, and with David Boucher engineering, and it just felt like the most. It was like our Los Angeles community in like the most legendary studio that we could think of and get into for a few days to record these songs that we all pretty much knew just from playing them over the years. And kind of like Sean and I had a basic plan for the arrangements, and then there's room for development, and you kind of tweak it, figure out what it wants to be that in that moment, and then try and get a couple good passes and move on to the next track. And
we did most of it, all but 2 songs in 3 days there at East West. And then, when you're working at a pace like that, 3 songs a day, you can't really get too precious with stuff. And but these guys, these musicians that we had playing with us are so good.
Yeah, you don't need many takes, right?
They're all our heroes.
They're our heroes, and
they're not going to be the ones slowing it down.
They're the ones that are like, you have
us.
to. It's first, second, third take are really good. Everyone, you do 1 take, people listen back, they kind of adjust, and then like 2 and 3 are like great. That's generally how it is, and then we regroup and go to the next song.
Oh, I buried the lead. The album is fantastic. Congratulations on it. It's called Volume 2. Get it wherever you get records, and it's available now. It just came out this last week as we're recording this, so it's definitely available as you watch this. And listen for Hypnotized on 88.5. By the way, you killed that, and your vocals have never been better on that.
Thank you.
Really, really wonderful. And don't forget to go get your tickets for the Christmas show, December 3rd at the Soraya. We'd love to see you out there. And in the meantime, go out once a month and see them at Largo. Thank you so much for being generous with your time. I'm going to give you guys a break. We're going to go downstairs and we're going to have a performance. But good to see you again. I always enjoy talking to you. All right.
Thanks. Awesome. Thank you.
This is 88.5 FM, a SoCal Sound session with the Watkins Family Hour. I'm really excited about the new album that just came out last Friday. It's called Watkins Family Hour Volume 2. It is exquisite. It's a really fine album with a number of their good friends on it. And they just had their their release party last night at Largo, but this is our party to celebrate that. I hope you put your hands together and make them feel very welcome tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Sean and Sarah Watkins, the Watkins Family Hour.
What once was a lifeline, thrown from a boat. Now it's what is it? What? Let's start that again. What once was a lifeline, thrown from a boat. Thank you so much, you guys. What a pleasure to be here. Such a nice evening. We love KCSN. as long as everything stays the same. I avoided the cure, but it found me anyway. I was looking for a redo, but my game hadn't changed. And hoping for a different outcome is insane. This is good, this is real, this is how I'm supposed to feel. Right here and now, both feet planted on the ground. I've been praying for a breakthrough, as long as everything stays the same. I avoided the cure, but it found me anyway. Sometimes you gotta break down and throw everything away. Take a look at all that's a curtain call of yesterdays. Now and then you gotta leave town and your zero-sum games, for a place with no sound and no one around who knows your name. This is good, this is real, this is how I'm supposed to feel. Right here and now, both feet planted on the ground. Sometimes you gotta break down and throw everything away. I avoided the cure, but it found me anyway. Right here and now, both feet planted on the ground. I've been praying for a breakthrough, as long as everything stays the same. I avoided the cure, but it found me anyway. Sometimes you gotta break down and throw everything away. I avoided the cure, but it found me anyway. But it found me anyway. But it found me anyway.
Thank you. It's a couple of songs off our brother-sister record. We are siblings, and we like to say things as they are. We grew up listening to bluegrass music in a pizza parlor called That Pizza Place. The bluegrass band was called Bluegrass Etc. We are siblings.
Our last name is Watkins.
And we are the Watkins Family Hour. Our previous record was Brother Sister. This is a very... We say it as we see it.
Yeah.
Until this record, ladies and gentlemen, we put out our third record. We call it Volume 3? No. We call it Volume 2. Thank you. This is a Tune-Yard song. The trees are in the meadow. The cows are in the trees. The people aren't anywhere to be found. Better take one of these.
The trees are in the meadow. The cows are in the pigs. The people aren't anywhere to be found. The grave digger digs. Look into my eyes, I love you, honey. Look into my eyes, I see you, honey. Look into my eyes, oh, I know you, honey. Look into my eyes, quiet, quiet. Look into my eyes, oh, I love you, honey. Look into my eyes, oh, I feel you, honey. Look into my eyes. Are you hypnotized, hypnotized? Silent as a citizen. City streets with ghosts and pasts. We used to laugh and dance here until the spell was cast. Oh, look into my eyes, I love you, honey. Look into my eyes, I see you, honey. Look into my eyes, oh, I know you, honey. Look into my eyes, quiet, quiet. Look into my eyes, oh, I know you, honey. Look into my eyes, oh, I feel you, honey. Look into my eyes. Are you hypnotized, hypnotized, hypnotized? The mirror draws down your head. You think the image is real. Your tears are melting your face, but you forgot how to feel. Remember your lungs, remember your lungs, remember your lungs, remember your lungs. The weight of your bones, remember your lungs. Wake up and look into my eyes. I love you, honey. Look into my eyes. I see you, honey. Look into my eyes. Oh, I know you, honey. Look into my eyes. Quiet, quiet. Look into my eyes. Oh, I feel you, honey. Look into my eyes. Oh, I see you, honey. Look into my eyes. Oh, I know you, honey. Look into my eyes. Quiet, quiet. Look into my eyes. I love you, honey. Look into my eyes. Oh, I feel you, honey. Look into my eyes. Are you hypnotized, hypnotized, hypnotized? Thank you so much.
Philip, if you need to turn down my monitor, you can.
Time for an Ernest Tubbs song here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that low end's come from the guitar.
Yep.
We made this record, so you heard a little bit about the Family Hour. It's been has anybody here been to a Family Hour? Awesome. Okay. Well, we've been doing this for 20 years. It started as just a fun thing. Well, it started as and still is a fun thing to play, just a fun opportunity to play on a regular basis with our musician friends up here. But truly, at the beginning of it, the Family Hour, we were living down in San Diego, and it was a chance when we were off tour. We grew up in a band called Nickel Creek, and when we were off tour, thank you, between tours, we would do the Family Hour, just a chance to play songs that we grew up knowing, like Linda Ronstadt songs and Dolly Parton songs and bluegrass songs, and we met other musicians that knew a bunch of that stuff too, and we'd play together and find common ground, which is what musicians do, and but we forget to do it sometimes. And the Family Hour has been a consistent reminder to do that for us, basically every month for 2 decades. and old country songs. A lot of people know old country songs. It's fun to have them in the back pocket to grab when someone is around. And so this is one of those songs that we recorded.
Thanks a lot. I got a broken heart, that's all I got. You made me cry, and I cried a lot. I lost your love, honey, thanks a lot. You told a friend as I was passing by that you're not sorry, that you made me cry. You said I deserve just what I got. If that's how you feel, honey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I got a broken heart, that's all I got. You made me cry, and I cried a lot. I lost your love, honey, thanks a lot. Played the part. Now all I've got is a broken heart. We loved a little, laughed a lot, and then you were gone. Honey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I got a broken heart, that's all I got. You made me cry, and I cried a lot. I lost your love, honey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I got a broken heart, that's all I got. You made me cry, and I cried a lot. I lost your love, honey, thanks a lot. I lost your love, honey, thanks a lot. One of our favorite songwriters is a guy named Tom Brousseau. He's from North Dakota. He lived here for a long time. We met him when we were playing the old Largo back in the early 2000s. And
he now has a show on Fargo Public Radio.
Yeah, the NPR station out of Fargo, North Dakota. It's called The Great American Folk Show. Check it out. But he's just a fantastic songwriter in person. This is a song of his that he wrote, 12 years ago on an album that I produced for him, and it just seems more relevant today than ever. Something completely new, and all of a sudden people don't know what to do. Let them have their way. I, for one, ain't even gonna look that way. We were meant to be together. We were meant to be together. Running on a plane, holding out our arms. Our souls are crazy mirth. We are the last inhabitants on the earth. We were meant to be together. 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 Thank you.
Are there any bluegrass musicians out there tonight? Oh, there's a false alarm. I saw a hand and then it went down. Oh, just a fan. So you heard bluegrass and you raised, and then musician and you lowered. I would say most bluegrass fans can play a few chords on the guitar. There's not too much more than that needed.
Yeah, we grew up playing bluegrass, and when you grew up playing bluegrass, the first thing you are supposed to learn is a bunch of these instrumental fiddle tunes. Some of them are hundreds of years old. The newer ones are like 100 years old. Usually you're from, Appalachia or, even like over in Ireland and England. And they're great. Songs like Soldier's Joy, Whiskey Before Breakfast, Forked Deer, the hits, you know them. I don't need to mention anymore. And they're wonderful songs. But at a certain point, you want to try and write one of your own, one or two of your own. And this is one I wrote a long time ago called Bella and Ivan. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. for those of you that have been to a Watkins Family Hour, you know that a huge part of our shows there at Largo are they involve guests and friends of ours, new and old, and we're very fortunate that one of our very favorite and oldest friends from Largo, in fact, the person who kind of introduced us to the club back in 2002, or 2000 actually, is here, and we'd like to bring out Glenn Phillips.
It is very good to see you, Glenn.
It is very good to
I mean,
see
I
you
saw you
too.
a second ago, but every time I see you, it's a warming sensation.
You're kind. I'm so glad I lost my keys this morning.
That's,
Hi.
We played.
right.
Glenn played with us last night at Largo, and stayed at my place. And today we went on a wonderful hike up above the Brand Library in Burbank. And after that, we came back.
And the babysitter had stolen my keys.
Yep.
By accident. But anyway, we found it. So I got stuck in town. So now I'm playing with them tonight, which I'm so happy about.
Happy accident.
Happy accident.
she gets a bonus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was good. They look just like her keys, it should be said. What are we doing? Should we go straight to...
Sound of drinking water?
What?
Drinking water?
All right. This is from my upcoming solo album.
Yeah.
Released on November 4th on Compass Records. Yay! So this is what it's like now, without the constant leaving, to sit and sense the seasons, to be here merely being. The sound of drinking water, the turning of the leaves, the movement of the moon, the spaces in between, the long year, the slow days. There is so much here that I had never seen. Your head upon my shoulder and slipping into sleep, to drift within my thoughts and listen to you breathe. The coffee in the bedroom, the swaying of the pine, the freedom from the weighing and the measuring of time, the long year, the slow days. There is so much here that I have never seen. The long year, the slow days. There is so much here that I never seen. There is so much here that I had never seen. Thank you.
Well,
It's like exit music from a film with all the danger removed.
yeah. You might know Glenn's solo work or his involvement, his from Toad the Wet Sprocket, other collaborations. But we had a collaboration with him. We've done a couple different collaborations, but one was called Mutual Admiration Society, maybe like 13 years ago. And this is one of those.
This is Works Progress Administration, our other project.
Sorry, I thought yes. Yes,
It's okay.
Works Progress Administration.
WPA, MAS, a three-letter acronym. It's a TLA.
Yeah, they're.
Anyway. I think we're going to do Always Have My Love. So, before Tinder was an app, back when it was just wood you could burn. Anyway, it'll show up in the song and you'll understand. We good? Yep. One, two, three. I'm not here for your confession. We said all there is to say. This house was made of tinder, and we both set off the flames. I went wild in the wreckage, you wanted off into the smoke. There shouldn't be a chance we could recover, shouldn't be holding you so close, but I still see as you are before the tears, beneath the scars, kisses sweet and words so rough. You'll always have my love. I've no interest in perfection, I just want some honesty. And our little indiscretions are just spittle in the sea. And why'd we think that we were different? Well, everybody knows it's nothing new. So someone might have spent the night beside you. He can't love you like I do, 'cause I still see as you are before the tears, beneath the scars, kisses sweet and words so rough. You'll always have my love. I can see you in my mind, half a smile and hungry eyes, and it may never be enough, but you'll always have my love. Yeah.
Glenn Phillips. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you guys so much.
We're gonna do another song off of our new album, written by an amazing singer-songwriter, all-around musician named Ethan Gruska. Yeah, and I imagine he gets played on KCSN. But anyway, this is a song of his that we love called "On the Outside."
I see you there. You're hanging out on the dark side, and I could meet you there. And we could see this through its bitter end, but there's a barrier. 'Cause you think you always have to act like the man. Yeah, you shake my hand. You turn around and you go on with your life, my friend. I always feel I'm on the outside with you. I always feel I'm on the outside with you. Baby, because you are an outsider too. I know there's nothing I could ever do. I always feel I'm on the outside. Did I dream you there? 'Cause I can't remember the last time you were really there. And I've been going through my past lives. If I could see them clearer, maybe then I know how long it's been since you let me in. And we remembered we are so alike. I always feel I'm on the outside with you. I always feel I'm on the outside with you. Maybe because you are an outsider too. I know there's nothing I could ever do. I always feel I'm on the outside. I always feel I'm on the outside.
Thank you.
All right, well, got one more song for you guys. Thank you so much to KCSN for having us. And for you guys supporting the radio station and coming to things like this. Really, pleasure.
When we were making planning the record, Volume 2, we wanted to include a bunch of songs that were really meaningful to us as the Family Hour over the years. Maybe songs that we played early on in the residency and or songs that were really great with this one great combination of people, or just kind of pick some nice moments. And we wanted to include songs by some of the songwriters who we kind of got to know at Largo and who really blew our eyes open and our ears open. And Glenn's songs were certainly among those. And there's a song off of Glenn's most recent record called "Grief and Praise" that we realized we really wanted to close out our album with. And on the record, it's a choir of the guests and the musicians on the record who join us in on it. So we invite you guys to sing loud while you're able, as the chorus says. And this is "Grief and Praise."
Yeah, the last line is sing loud while you're able, in grief and in praise. So sing along if you can remember that. You should do it. Oh, the sisters in circle, children of mine, you humble my heart, you sharpen my mind, though we're scattered and weary. A change is upon us, we are bound to the end. Still family, I promise. For all that you love will be taken someday by the angel of death or the servants of change. In a flood of water tide without rancor or rage. Here we go. Sing loud while you're able, in grief and in prayer.
For so many years we swam into the tide, and we would not abandon heroic and kind. Shared our sweat and our shelter, our bodies and blood, Godspeed and good fortune. I will miss you, my love. For all you hold dear will be taken someday by the angel of death or the servants of change. In a flood water tide without rancor or rage. Sing loud while you're able, in grief and in praise. Now we meet at the well of sorrow, dug down to the heart of the earth, to be joined at its source to the spring of hope. Drink deep while you can, and give thanks for your thirst. Someday by the angel of death or the servants of change. In a flood water tide without rancor or rage. Sing loud while you're able, in grief and in praise. Sing loud while you're able, in grief and in praise.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks, everybody.